Welcome everyone to Smarter Scouting with SkillCorner, our latest short video series focusing on the process of finding different player profiles within a specific position group. We will not only showcase examples, but also guide you on a journey on how to replicate this process yourself. The first position group we are actually focusing on are fullbacks. Fullbacks have heavily impacted the game in recent years, and we can think of different players doing different things on the pitch, starting from a fullback position. Riccardo Calafiori at Arsenal, for example, is playing inside as an adjunct playmaker, while Raul Bellanova last year at Atalanta under Gasperini was really wide and intense. Miguel Gutierrez in the 23-24 season was sometimes acting as a proper number 10 at Girona. So the real question is, what do you want your fullback to do? For this specific example, we have selected two quite opposite profiles, the intense fullback and the inverted fullback. So what do they do? The intense fullback is a strong athlete and a tireless runner. He constantly provides solution for his teammates by lapping and filling the spaces forward. He attempts to serve bodies in the box and is committed out of possession when the game requires to track opponents back. So how do we actually track and measure all of these football-specific behaviors useful in a scouting process? We can do so thanks to SkillCorner matrix quality and granularity. So we will be looking, for example, at high-intensity distance belonging to our physical package or other metrics belonging to our game intelligence suite. For examples, overlaps and runs ahead of the ball, pass attempts to cross receiver runs, as well as recovery presses. Recovery presses are a really specific type of press that actually entail the defending player running toward his own goal to, again, track opponents back. On the other hand, the inverted fullback aims at receiving beyond the first pressure and inside the opposition defensive shape. He attempts to break the defending midfield with key passes. He's really involved in possession against mid-blocks and able to play on the turn, as well as well-positioned centrally and committed to defend transitions. Now, play on the turn here actually means receiving the ball from the back or sideways, pivot on the first control, and perform a progressive action. Useful metrics here are options through the first line. So we are actually looking at positioning, at the ability of opening up passing lines through and not around the first pressure for his teammates. Another useful metric is pass attempts through second last line. So here we are on the ball actually attempting to break the defending midfield with passes. Possessions in create, so the involvement in a really specific phase of the game. Forward momentum, and on-ball engagement in transitions. Now, when we go on the pitch, everything looks simpler and easier. The inverted fullbacks actually play inside of the pitch and aims at breaking lines through positioning and passing, while the intense fullback covers the wide channels. He's intense, of course, and wide. So, if we were to do the same example by focusing on what happens on the ball only, we will be left with a less comprehensive picture. Out of 10 metrics, we will probably be left with 3 and quite general too. So as you may have noticed, we have actually touched upon in our process all the different scouting elements, the tactical ones, the technical ones, and the physical ones. If we go again only focusing on event data, so what happens on the ball, the picture is quite different. We are left with way less contextual information, and the player who's not on the ball is actually not there, simply because the ball is not there. So we all know that on average, a player is only on the ball for 3 minutes per game, and our mission at SkillCorner is to help you evaluate each player contribution on the pitch for the remaining 97% of the time on a global scale. Now, the good news here is that you can actually replicate the process yourself in a really simple way. Alright, so here we are in SkillCorner's online tool, our web app lab, where you can actually replicate the process we just went through. So the first thing to make sure of here is to be under the player scouting section and that you have actually loaded the seasons and competitions that you want to scout in. For this specific example, we are going for the Big 5 leagues of last year. Now, down below here, you actually find 4 different tools to scout, and we're actually focusing on the performance index today, as our goal is to find profiles within a specific position group. You can obviously filter down by age, teams and position, and we are selecting the fullback positions. Now, scrolling down to the index section, you can actually choose to work with preset indexes built by SkillCorner or custom indexes. I have built my custom indexes for the intense and inverted fullbacks. So if I select the intense fullback here, I will see the metrics that we just discussed appearing, and you can actually weight them according to what's most important for you and for your game model. The results will appear down below in a table with the index score highlighted in green, the player name, and all the metrics that actually make up the index that you can sort by simply clicking on it. We see, for example, players like Adrien Truffert here, gone to Bournemouth to replace Milos Kerkez now at Liverpool, and it is no chance that he's really one of the most intense guys around. So if I go up again and I select the inverted fullback index, now I will see the matrix changing. Again, we can weight them according to what's most important for us, and the results will be loaded quite quickly here. Again, no chance that Andrea Cambiaso, probably the prototype of the modern inverted fullback, is ranking really high. So once we are here and we actually click on a player, we will see a pop-up appearing in a few seconds, including all the different metrics related to the players. They are divided by type of metric, from physical to phases of play, and so on and so on. An interesting thing we can do here is actually find the player on Transfermarkt or add the player to our watch list. So we add him, and once we go back to our home, for example, we will scroll down and see on the left our team that we have selected, and I'm going from Mialbi now, and the player that we've added to the watch list. Again, simple click, Andrea Cambiaso, all the information that we need for each specific aspect of the game. Quick recap to close this first episode and see what we have actually just done together. We have been able to filter hundreds of players in a few seconds. We have included all the football-specific information that we need in our scouting and recruitment processes, and to understand if a specific player could be a fit for our game model. We have done so completely no code and in a few clicks, and obviously including all the different scouting elements that we need, the tactical, technical, and physical ones. So I hope you have enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next episode.